High-style tablescapes without the expensive price tag, and you won't believe what we've used to decorate it with. This is what you do for a living.
Yes.
But we kind of challenge you at deals a little bit.
You do. You really do. You really do.
We know you keep budgets for, the people you design for, but their budget might be a little bit bigger than some of ours.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. I work with pretty sizable budgets. Let's say anywhere from, $7,000, $10,000, as a base, and we go from there.
Holy moly! Yeah, I definitely don't have a budget like that, but designer Dwight Woodbury tells me we can pull off a very similar look for a fraction of the cost.
You never have to sacrifice high style and sophistication for affordability. And just by using things you already have on hand, and a little planning, you can absolutely, recreate this for all your dinner guests.
The first place to save tons, the tablecloth.
It's actually a bed sheet. And, I tell people, if you don't have fine imported linens, it's no big deal. A lot of times you can take a bed sheet, and I've used it many, many times, and no one ever knows.
This is key.
So if you're working with a bed sheet that has a very low thread count, by laying felt on your table first, it's going to improve the way the sheet drapes and hangs on the table.
Where do you get felt?
Any fabric store will have it. This ran me about maybe $4, $3 a yard. And we're working with about 3 yards here.
Dwight dresses up the bed sheet with this homemade vellum overlay.
What did we do with this? It's almost like a corset.
That's interesting that you would pick
it.
up on that. But that is truly the inspiration of this overlay. I like using vellum because of the transparency that it has.
But if you don't have that or want to buy it, you can achieve the look with plain old printer paper.
You've got to start with a template first. And this is a template that I made for this particular table.
This looks pretty extensive.
It does, and I do have an architectural background. That's probably why it looks a little bit more technical than what it really is. You decide how many panels you want the overlay to have. And once you divide up your panels, I measured inward on both sides. That tells me what size each vellum panel needs to be. We punch holes in it to lace the ribbon through. It's important that you start from the corners because that's where it all laces together. And then once you get that done, you decide how far you want the holes to be spaced apart. I usually do about 2 inches, 2.5 inches apart.
Then once you get your holes in, then you just string the ribbon.
Well, actually, we should have gone under.
Oops.
Because you want the excess to stay on top.
This is why I'm here, so I can make all the mistakes, so you don't make them.
So then we lace under.
Oh.
Dwight advises, do not do this the same day as your party.
I don't want to receive any emails, saying, wait a minute, this is not, you made it look a lot easier, Depending on the size of your table, it could take a couple days to do.
Are these just glasses?
These are just juice glasses that I had around the house, and I took them and I'm going to use them as risers, and I filled them first with dried split peas.
How cool.
Kind of cool, yeah. We'll put them there.
He uses recycled glass from an old piece of furniture as a riser in the middle of the table.
Here I'm just taking vases that I already had. Smells great, doesn't it? I know. And filled them with coffee beans.
Wow. Put that on here?
Just set that on there.
And look at this. He adds a branch as part of his centerpiece. He gave it a good cleaning with some bleach and water. You wouldn't want any uninvited guests showing up for your party. And when it's dry, we wrap some gold wire, beads, and moss around it to dress it up a bit. But
it's just that simple. It's all about using what you have on hand. This is just, as you can see, a cabbage head. I will turn anything into a vase. So I carved it out, and by taking some foam oasis that's been soaked in water, we can insert it in there.
Now, carving it out, is it as simple as just taking a knife around the inside?
Just like carving it out of pumpkin.
And then you also left this.
You take it and spray it with water, and then put it in a plastic bag, and then put it in your crisper for a couple of days. It would actually kind of harden and stay this way. So that's why it's able to sit out on the table during your dinner party and not wilt.
Oh, that's the key right there.
That's the key.
I knew there had to be something. Okay, cool.
inexpensive supermarket flowers, and these are spray roses. I simply take them and start inserting them into our oasis.
We add a few gourds, some moss, and placemats.
And it was a long twig runner that I simply took and just cut up into parts and made our placemats with. White china is absolutely the best way to stretch a dollar. You can use this over and over and over again, create endless themes, color combinations. Well, there was only one place setting in this design and one in that, but if you put them together, they really work great together.
Yeah, they complement
so
each other.
I'm all about, again, mixing and matching. So believe it or not, for about $18, we're able to set a place setting for 6 people.
I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy,
I love
right?
it.
Crazy.
And look at these cute name holders.
I took like little ghost pumpkins and I took like little squares of vellum, wrote names on them, and just used raffia to secure it onto the stems of these little pumpkins.
And there's one for me.
Absolutely. There's a place here at the table for you, Kat.
I love it.
We just sit one center on each dish.
He adds a few flameless candles to set the mood and continues with the theme of mixing and matching.
And your napkin rings. Those are gorgeous.
I know, aren't they?
Yes.
Very high-end and chic, aren't they?
Very.
Yes, well, I made those. You can take any type of inner tube that you might have from like aluminum foil, Glad wrap. I'm actually going to use like a tube from paper towel holder.
We measure 1.5 inches on the tube and cut it out with an X-Acto knife.
This is like ribbon that I had left over from holidays, and I love it because it's this burlap.
Then we make small cuts on each end, fold the fabric inside, and glue.
Once I've done that, I then take gold wire and just simply wrapped it around, twisted it, just created my own little design. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Just to embellish it even more, I took like a hazelnut, and then I wrapped a different type, a second type of wire around that, and glued it all together.
Beautiful.
Look at this gorgeous table.
We're keeping it in what, 250 range?
Oh no. Lower. I created this on a $50 budget.
Unbelievable. And can you imagine the conversations this unique table will spark? So be the talk of the town with Dwight's design. Just go to livewellnetwork.com and click on deals for all the details.